In this video, let's talk about chapter tests. We will have 5 proctored chapter exams worth 100 points each. So it's important that you do really well on these exams because they make up a majority of your grade. These exams will be taken at the end of each unit and cover the unit's material. The chapter test will be proctored, either in person or virtually, using ProctorU or Math Solutions testing services. You'll find more information in Canvas about how to sign up for either of those options. Make sure you do that as soon as possible so you're guaranteed a spot. It is your responsibility to make sure that you make arrangements to come to the testing center or you have the appropriate technology to have your exams proctored virtually, like a webcam, microphone, and all the other technology that you may need. Remember, Chromebooks are not compatible for virtual testing, so if a Chromebook is all that you have, you need to come in person to take your exam or contact me so we can make an arrangement for a different method. If a student cannot meet these requirements, you'll receive a 0 for the exam. Exams have to be proctored, they have to be done on time, there is no excuses, there's no exceptions, there's no exemptions, so please make sure that you can fulfill these requirements. If you know that you cannot, you need to make sure that you sign up for a different course, or this course might not be the right one for you, okay? You must take the exam within the testing availability window provided, so please check Canvas and the course calendar for all of those different due dates and make sure that you meet all of those requirements. Now, while taking your exams, students should be working out all problems on a separate sheet of paper. You are required to show all of your work for every single problem in order to get credit. I do not just give you credit for correct answers, I actually give credit for every single step of work plus the right answer. So you will not get credit for just correct answers. It's really important that you're showing me all of your work. That work must be scanned and submitted into Canvas within 5 minutes of completing the exam. Not 15, not 30, but immediately after finishing your exam, you need to scan or take pictures of your work and submit it in Canvas under that assignment within 5 minutes. I have to be very fair and consistent with everybody, and that 5 minutes has to be a hard deadline that you submit your work within in order to get credit, okay? What I'm doing is I'm using this work as I'm looking at your test to give you partial credit on any problems that you got wrong. Because we're doing these exams in my math lab, sometimes my math lab is programmed very picky where you have to put the exact right answer in the exact form that they've programmed or they mark the whole thing wrong. Even though you might have gotten the right answer or done most of the work correctly, they give you 0 points. I would like to be able to go back and look at all of your work to be able to give you partial credit or full credit if you deserve it. But in order to do that, I need to be able to clearly see all of your work. So it's important that you're clear, organized, and you show everything so I can give you partial credit for wrong answers and full credit for right answers. Remember, just because you have a right answer doesn't mean you're going to get credit. I need to see the work that goes along with that right answer in order to get you your credit. Okay? If your work is not submitted within that timeline above, if it is unclear or incomplete, no credit will be given for those questions, even with the correct answer. That means if you show no work, you get 0 on your test. You get no credit. And because we only have 5 exams and they make up a majority of your grade, that would be a huge blow to your grade. So it's really important that you follow the directions, you follow the rules, and you follow those requirements in order to get all the credit you deserve. Okay? All right, the last little thing is every student has the opportunity to earn extra credit by completing the chapter review in my math lab with at least an 80% before taking the unit exam. So I've created a review in my math lab that looks very similar to the test. If you do that review in my math lab with at least an 80% before taking your test, I'll give you extra credit on that exam. Now, most students then ask me, how much extra credit? Well, I actually don't decide the amount of extra credit until after I'm done grading everybody's test. I like to see where everybody stands and see how much extra credit, kind of like a curve, how much extra credit I think the exam is worth. So please make sure that you do that review. Number one, it's going to help you prepare for the exam, and then there's a little bit of bonus of extra credit at the end. So make sure you do that with at least an 80% before taking the test. And really, you can do it as many times as you need to in order to be prepared for the exam. I promise it will help. Okay? There are no exams given late without prior approval, so please make sure if there is an issue, you let me know beforehand. Please do not email me the day of the test and tell me that you had some sort of an emergency or you couldn't do it or technology or whatever it is. Please plan ahead of time in case there are any issues. We don't have any makeups, we don't have any late exams, so please make sure that you make arrangements to take your exam and you follow through with that. Okay? There are no arrangements after the fact. So if you do not take your test when you're supposed to, unfortunately, you do get a 0 on your exam. If you fail to communicate with me before the missed exam, you'll receive a 0 and it'll count toward your final grade. And there are no exam retakes. That means you can only take the exam once. So you need to make sure that the one time you do it is the best possible score you can get. That means you need to make sure that you do the work beforehand, watching the videos, taking the notes, doing the homework, practicing by doing that review as many times as you need to before taking that exam on or before the due date.